devotees, Dandavad Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Premavasya Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 6, chapter number 1, sloka number 58 to 60. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Welcome, devotees. So,
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
So we start today's session with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashcha Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapte Kanchane Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatrubhescha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So once again, welcome all devotees. So today we are going to discuss on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, verse 58 and 60. Ekada sau vanam yatah priti sandesakita duja adaya tata avrita phala pushpa samit kushan dadasa kamina kaschit sutram sa bhujissaya pitva cha madhurmaireya madaghu matya visal Vayapetam Nirapatrapam Kridantam Nugayantam Hasantam Yantike. Synonyms purport and translation of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ekada, once upon a time, Asav, this Azamil, Vanam Yataha, went to the forest. Pitra, of his father's Sandesa, the order. Krita, carrying out. Dujaha, the Brahmana. Adaya, collecting. Tata, from the forest. Avritaha, returning. Phala Puspa, fruits and flower. Smita Kushan, two kinds of grass known as Smith and Kusa. Dadarsa, saw. Kamina, very lusty. Kanchita, someone. Shudram, a fourth class man, a Shudra. Saha, along with Bhujisaya, an ordinary maid servant or prostitute. Pitva, after drinking. Cha, also. Madhu, nectar. Maireyam, made of soma flower. Made by intoxication. Aghurnita, moving. Netraya, her eyes. Mataya, intoxicated. Vislatha Nibya, whose dress was slackened. Vayapetam, fallen from the proper behavior. Nira Patrapam, without fear of public opinion. Kridantam, engaged in enjoyment. Anu Gayantam, singing. Hasantam, smiling. Anaya, with her. Antike, close by. Translations. Once this Brahmana Ajamil, following the order of his father, went two kinds of grass called Samit and Kusa. On the way home, he came upon a Sudra, a very lusty fourth-class man, who was shamelessly embracing and kissing a prostitute. The Shudra was smiling, singing, and enjoying as if this were proper behavior. Both the Shudra and the prostitute were drunk. The prostitute's eyes were rolling in intoxication, and her dress had become loose. Such are the conditions in which Azamila saw them. Purport. While traveling along the public way, Azamila came upon a fourth-class man and a prostitute who are vividly described here. Drunk, drunkenness was sometimes manifest even in bygone ages, although not very frequently. In this age of Kali, however, such sin is to be seen everywhere. For the people all over the world have become shameless. Long ago, when he saw the scene of the drunken Sudra and the prostitute Azamila, who was a perfect brahmachari, was affected. Nowadays, such sin is visible in so many places. We must consider the position of a brahmachari student who sees such behavior. For such brahmachari to remain steady is very difficult unless he was. Nevertheless, if one takes Krishna consciousness very seriously, he can withstand the provocation created by sin. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we prohibit illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. In Kali Yuga, a drunk, half-naked woman embracing a drunk man is very common sight, especially in the Western countries. And restraining oneself after seeing such thing is very difficult. Nevertheless, if by the grace of Krishna, one adheres to regulative principles and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna will certainly protect him. Indeed, Krishna says that his devotee is never vanquished. Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta panishyati. Therefore, all the disciples practicing Krishna consciousness should obediently follow the regulative principles and remain fixed in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Then there need be no fear. Otherwise, one's position is very dangerous, especially in this Kali. So, this is this verse of Ajahn, and this is something we also experience it. And when Prabhupada was writing this purport, and now, I mean, after 1977, and now you see a lot of changes are there. So Ajamil, he went to forest, and there he saw the Sudra in drunken state. But now we have the mobile phone and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and even if you're watching uh, devotional content, then also there's always a chance that uh, someone comes across such scene. And so what we can discuss is like what are the steps that we can take to safeguard ourselves. And we can also discuss on the topic like who will be willing to take those steps, and what are the impediments even if you try to do it. So these are topics that we can discuss in this. Because is my voice clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So because there's no need to discuss about the impact of um, Instagrams and YouTube Reels and the movies, everything, because we know all those topics. So let's discuss on how we can counteract this. Okay. So let's start with our small our birth as a human being in this world, and how this human body is constituted, and what are the impacts of our past life karmas and our sanskaras. Okay. So we'll discuss in many layers because this topic is not that easy. It is very easy to say that this is bad and don't do it, don't don't be taken overpowered by this. But we know this by experience that it is really very difficult. Okay. So from our past life samskaras, there are, when we get a human body, the human body is constituted of this mind and then all our hormonal systems. So there are certain likings and certain dislikings. So when a person in the present life, he thinks about some things and there are certain unfulfilled desires. Those desires, and when there is a desire and the desire is fulfilled, and one performs the act, for example, association of a woman or a man, or drinking alcohol or enjoying something, then that forms samskara in our chitta, and that gets carried in all different lives. And when we are born, then our body is like that. So it is observed that by birth it appears that all childs are same, but but then the association and the environment in which they are born. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, we study Lord Krishna says to Arjuna that those who start the devotion service, or they want to progress in the spiritual life, but somehow if they are not able to complete, then they are given a chance to be born in the family of Dvija, in the family of devotees, like that. And and in other instances, we see that if someone is cursed, then they are said that you take birth in the family of demons. Demons meaning those family who are accustomed to this kind of practices, and there is no rules and regulation followed for practicing this, restraining the senses. So from these two examples from Bhagavad Gita, and that Lord Krishna said that one who wants to progress in the spiritual life, but somehow so falls down. So when we say he wants to progress in the spiritual life, so that is a desire. That is a desire that I want to make progress in my spiritual life. That is a desire. So that desire will develop. Okay, and then or somehow we are not able to fulfill, or someone falls down. I mean, he's not able to maintain that standard of devotional service or spiritual life, and he falls down. Then they are given a chance to be born in the family of a well-to-do family, or in a Duja family, or in the family of devotees, or among a place where devotees they resides. And those who wanted to enjoy different kinds of sense pleasures, then they take birth in those kind of families where it is good. Of course, there has to be some merit to get this human form of life, but then also there is a desire to enjoy. So when a person is born with a desire to enjoy, and he's born in that kind of family, and then he has these unfulfilled desires, he want to do it, then his body structures in mind, in mental setup, the hormonal setup are such that they cannot be controlled very easily. But we have many stories. You all must be knowing many stories of devotees from whom about whom when we listen about them, then we understand that from birth itself they were not too much inclined to normal sense enjoyment. Their inclination was automatically to the spiritual life, to reading the literatures. I will stop sharing the screen. So their natural inclination was to study the Bhagavatam, or just like in nowadays also, for many Guru Maharaj, if you listen to their stories, you will understand that they, from the birth itself, from the childhood itself, their inclination was never to enjoy the senses. So this is what is the impact of our past life. If in past life we wanted to enjoy this material life, wanted to have the enjoyment, and then in the next life, if you happen to take a birth in human form body, then that body is has those kind of mindset, those kind of hormones. But we can't change our past. That is gone. So in present, what can be done? So in present, those I mean, the devotees, there is one path, and for those who are not devotees, we can have different path. So for devotees, we should think about, we should contemplate on this topic, that what is the purpose of we coming to devotional life. So somebody comes to devotional life because they see that devotees are very happy, they are very they always sing, they always dance, their faces are bright, and they they never fall in trap of sense enjoyment. It appears from outside like that, and they always keep smiling. So that also attracts. Sometimes the behavior of devotee attracts. Sometimes people they come like in Bhagavad Gita, we say Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani. Those four categories of people they also come to the devotional life. So in devotional life, people are coming from all different places with all different mindsets. But once we are into devotional practices, we are into spiritual life, and now we want to make progress. Before devotional life, all the demands of the body, it appears as if they are very natural. And to fulfill the demand, also very natural. But the moment we join the spiritual movement and we want to make progress, the first step is said that to control our senses, control the sense enjoyment. And there we see the problem starts. And then we see the struggle starts. For a brahmachari, the scenario is different. For a brahmachari, like he is dealing with his own senses only. But for the grihastha, the scenario is completely different. For the brahmachari, he can follow rules and regulations, but for the grihasthas, because they have husband and wife, they're together, and if husband he wants to practice, he wants to practice devotional life, and he wants to practice sense restraint, but wife doesn't want to practice. If the wife wants to practice, the husband doesn't want to practice. So it's like a two-way clip. So if one wants to open up, other is still holding, and other wants to open up, other is still holding. So in case of Grihastha, it is difficult. It has to be a two-way mutual understanding and coordination. Uh, then only it runs okay. But for brahmachari, it is different case study. So in case of Azamil, discussed together. So in case of Azamil, uh, what happens that he went to forest. He went to forest to um, in the order of his father, just like fulfilling the desires of spiritual master, or senior, or devotees. And so his purpose of going to the forest was not for the sense enjoyment. His purpose was to, so that means his mind was that he will go to forest, he will collect the kusa grass and suta grass, and then he will come back, and the flowers and all other things that were required for the daily yajna that his father used to perform. And he went there. So mind was not that he's going there for the sense enjoyment, something like that. And second thing that we can understand from here was that he was also not trained. It appears like that he was also not trained that if he sees those kind of situation, if he comes across those kind of situation, what he should do. So this is the same. I mean, if you talk about our childrens, so we want to train our childrens. So this is the teachings we need to understand that if you don't talk to our childrens, that if you go out if you watch Instagram reels, if you're watching YouTube shorts, and if you happen to come across seeing those kind of scenarios, what should be our so it appears that he was not trained. Azamil was not trained. I mean, his father may not have expected that even if forest he's going there to collect um, the items for the yajna, he would see those kind of scene and how should he react. So so that training was not there with him, and therefore he was not able to understand what to do. So one thing that we should uh, train our mind, just like uh, a soldier. A soldier is always under training, and they are trained that under this circumstances, what should be your instances. So when we read Bhagavatam, so I mean, while reading Bhagavatam, we think that Bhagavatam is only about Lord Krishna's pastimes, and therefore many devotee, when we discuss in ourselves, then they say that only 10th canto is the most important part of it because that is full of all the pastimes Lord Krishna's, and others are good to read, but the 10th canto is very important. So this is what in general people will say. But other cantos of Bhagavatam, they prepares our mind to to read the 10th canto in a very pure state of mind. So that is what. So in our association as a devotee, we should discuss about different situations that we can face in our life, and and how we should try to deal with them. Because if the situation comes as a surprise, surprise, and we have no idea how to deal with that. So then become difficult. Just like in our on offices and government offices, there's a fire drill. So they will ring a bell and say that today is a fire drill, and then there is assembly ground. People have to assemble at one place, and then they will evacuate the building. They will count how much time it takes for every person to evacuate it. So those kind of drills. Similarly, when we read Bhagavatam and this kind of topics that comes up, it's like a training of our mind that if we happen to see those kind of scenarios, those kind of scene, how we are going to prepare our mind. So in Bhagavad Gita, there is example of tortoise, and Lord Krishna says that and when a tortoise he sees the danger outside, it withdraws its senses. So that is one thing that we can do. But what we see here in this case study is that Azamil was also well versed in in those topics, and he knew it, but he was not able to withdraw his senses, and he kept watching them. And in this process, I mean, thinking, willing, feeling, and then acting. So that start happening. Those psychological process of these steps start happening in the mind, and he was not able to control. So let us discuss about what is the root cause of it, why we are not able to control this, and why we are asked to control this. What steps you can take. So first thing is that we should think about and we should contemplate and we should always tell to ourselves that what is the purpose of our we are in different services. And if we have in we say that if you glorify those things, if you say even once, even if once we say that I mean this is very good thing, if you say it's really good thing, I mean something is bad, but in our mind there is a appreciation for those things, then it become difficult. So if in our mind, if there's a appreciation, that is a kind of association. If we appreciate something, we associate with those things. So if you say that intoxication is good in some senses, so people they say, and then talking to male and female, and or being with them alone in one room is not nothing bad there. Your intentions should be good, and you should have control on your mind, something like this. So if they say it is good in some conditions, so it can be allowed in certain circumstances, and those and if you have if someone crosses the boundary and they enjoys it, and then they say that they enjoyed it, so the feeling of enjoyment is there in their mind. So for those kind of mindset, it is very difficult to progress in the spiritual life. So uh, it is said that to understand the reality of this world, we need to disconnect this world. We need to make distance with this world. And to understand Supreme Personality Godhead, we need to connect with it. So, so more we associate with it. So association is like appreciation. So when we say the more we associate with material objects, material sense enjoyment, so it is not like I'm associating directly, but it's like I appreciate it. So for example, junk food, if I appreciate it, yeah, they are very good sometimes when we cannot prepare good food. So it is good to have sometimes it's junk food. So that is kind of appreciation. And so for example, when you watch movies, and there we see someone, and then heroes and heroines and actor and actresses, and their dancing moves, if you watch, and then you appreciate those, then we are associating. So appreciation is like association. So in a devotee's mind, when they are trained, they understand that we should not have any kind of appreciation for those things which are impediments in our spiritual progress. Then we stop association. Then we stop associating with them. But today, we in some corner of our life we have some appreciation for that. So maybe legitimate or illegitimate. So if we have appreciation for that, this is good. I mean, there is something good in it. Then that is association, and sangha sanjayate kama. So once we associate, then we have desires, and then once the desire is there in our mind, then our hormones start acting in certain ways. So we can stop at the very point where we want to appreciate, because the moment we appreciate, then the desire happens. Once the desire is strong, then the hormone starts secreting in our body. And once the hormones they start secreting in our body, then it is very difficult to control the body. Very difficult. Just like uh, there are different kinds of hormones in our body. So no one can say that once the hormones are active, I can control my body. Just like the cortisols, adrenaline, dopamine. So those hormones, once they start acting, serotonin. So this all these hormones are different different functions are there, and when they secrete, there is a different kind of activity in our body. But uh, once they start secreting, their amount is high, then very difficult to control our body, our mind. uh, Very difficult. Even you know that this is not good, but we cannot control. So the very point is like we need to learn that we never appreciate something which is an impediment to our devotional services. So that is something we need to learn. And then why we are not going to appreciate? So if we are in the association of person, just like he said that Istri Sangi or Kami Sangi and devotion association, those things we talk about. So Asat Sangha Char, Sei Vaishno Achar. Asat Sangha, so it is defined as those who are materialistic or those who talk about illicit relationships, that they are Asat Sangha. So Asat Sangha means Asat Sangha means those people who have in their life appreciation for this kind of um, activities who are not beneficial or does not help in our spiritual life. So if we associate with those kind of people, then a desire also develops within us. So then we also develop that appreciation. And then from association of those people, appreciation for those objects comes in our mind, and that is the subtle association that we form. And once we associate with them, then desire develops, and once desire develops, that is your kama, then sangha, sanjaya the kama. So sangha is not only physical sangha. Appreciation is sangha. So the point here I would like to emphasize is the once we stop appreciating those things, then you don't associate with those things. So once you start appreciating, and and if if you if you think about that, okay, I'm not appreciating, then let's say that they are bad. So even if you say they are bad, just like if I say what is bad, so uh, there is there is an instance where people will say they chant Hare Krishna, and that person was saying, no, I will not say. Then he said, what will not say? He said, Hare Krishna, I will not say. Then he said Hare Krishna. And then the devotee, they started dancing that he said once Hare Krishna, and then his life will be successful. Similarly, if you say that this is bad, and if you talk about what is bad with different kind of people, so it's like associating. So either you associate with something in a positive way, or we associate with something in negative way. So icha or dvesa. Icha means positive association, and dvesa means negative kind of association. So both are like association. So it's like a hook to capture something. So icha and dves, they are like a hook. So so it is advised that a devotee should be like a tathastha. I mean, indifferent to those activities. So if it is present or it is absent, well, they are tathastha. They don't worry about them too much. So and and then they start appreciating something which is conducive to our spiritual life, and they never say against something which is not conducive to spiritual life. So I mean, we say that we need to understand like the association, how it is a very subtle form, and then it becomes a gross form, and that impacts our life and impacts our decision at certain point of time when you take strong decisions. So those things are there. So therefore, this in Srimad Bhagavatam is a complete study. Why it's complete study? Because it gives us an opportunity to discuss different kind of situations, and there are case studies. So we just study those case studies. So if I say that, okay, so we'll not discuss those things, we'll not discuss those things, and will not allow those negative feature even come in our way. So that is also not a proper strategy to deal with this kind of situation, because in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is an instance where a rishi, he wanted that his son should never associate with any woman in his life, and therefore the rishi was living in a forest, and in that kingdom there was a severe drought, and the priest, they suggested that if somehow the the daughter of the king, she is married to the son of that rishi, and then there will be all auspiciousness. There will be rain and everything will be fine. And but this boy, he never saw any woman. And then the king sent all the beautiful ladies and to him, and he was in the bathing in the river, and they came, all the girls came to him, and he thought that they are rishis, they are different, they are also male like him but with different bodily feature, but he got attracted to their bodily features, and then they took him away. So our human bodies like that, we have the hormones are like that. And if you talk about um, slightly differently, if you talk about the energy kind of system, if you talk about that this entire universe is like the conversion of energy. So we know this famous Einstein equation, E is equal to mc square. So that equation says that everything is like a energy, and in certain condition they transforms to mass. So energy is transformed into mass. And similarly, we also from Bhagavatam we say that, so initially there was Sabda. Lord said, let there be creation. So there was Sabda, and from the Sabda, the entire creation has come up. So, like energy, so we are like energy particles. We're like energy particles, and then everything energy particles, and then these different energies, they interact with different energy in different way. So therefore, we what we need is that we need to understand that we cannot avoid this. So therefore, Bhagavatam, study of Bhagavatam in the guidance of a proper spiritual master is very important. That they will, while reading Bhagavatam, they will train our mind. So when we read Bhagavatam and when we discuss this topic of Azamil, and when we discuss topics of other characters in the Bhagavatam, and those are negative characters. Okay, so once a devotee said that we don't treat many negative things are discussed, then many negative characters are discussed. Same in our life as a devotee, because we want to become Krishna conscious, and we want to become Lord's devotee, and we want to just think about Lord only and nothing else. But but why this topic is there in Srimad Bhagavatam? So this topic is similar, just like you must have heard that in a previous kingdom they used to give poison, just like uh, there used to be wish kanya, and kings also they used to take poison in very controlled and very limited amount for a long time, because in those days killing a king by poison was a very common. So they will serve poison in their food, and they will die. So those were the common means of assassination of the kings. And therefore many kings, and there used to be Vishkanya who will go and kill the kings, those kind of in those times. Therefore, how they used to prepare themselves, they will take a small amount of poison every day, not by themselves, but in a controlled supervision. They know how to do it, and not one kind of poison. Poison are different kinds of poison, just like a scorpion poison, poison from different kinds of snakes, poison from different kinds of herbs, poison from different kinds of fruits, poison from different kinds of seeds. So different kinds of poison they used to take, and then their body used to become resistant. Just like today we take vaccines. So vaccine is like same viruses in a different format we take in the body, and then our body becomes immune to the viruses. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read properly, we devotees, they vaccinated. They get vaccinated uh, towards all those kind of negative in their mind, their body, and the thinking. They get prepared to welcome the Lord. And when they read 10th canto and the past of the Lord, their mind is pure, is vaccinated. and negative desires and everything, they cannot enter into their mind. They're not impacted even they see. And those kind of devotees, they are now, they can roam around, right? So it is said that Vacho Begam, Manasa Krodha Begam, Jihva Begam, Udar Upasta Begam, Etan Vegano Visheta Dhira, Sarvam Abhima, Prithvina Sisya. So those Vacho Begam, Manasa Begam, Krodha Begam, Jihva, Udar Upasta Begam, all those Vegas, all those Vegas. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the different cantos are present in such a way that all our these vegas they get controlled. Because but what is the condition that we need to discuss those topics under proper supervision of a spiritual master. And we are very fortunate that we have purport by Srila Prabhupada, and the purport are very powerful. And we need to contemplate on those purports and to read again and again. And also we are very fortunate to have uh, disciples of Prabhupada, we have Guru Maharaj, and we should listen to them again and again, again and again, so that our mind gets, I mean, vaccinated kind of thing against those. And so our Vegas are controlled while discussing. So this discussion. So now you can understand that discussions is happening at the subtle level, because the desires, the association, they also starts at the very subtle level. And at the very subtle level they're key. When we discuss these topics in Srimad Bhagavatam, those desires are killed at the very subtle level. And now the devotee is very immune. They become immune to those kind of scenarios. And when they go out, they go out, doesn't matter what they see, where they associate, they are completely immune. Just like during the corona time, those who get vaccinated, they will go out in the public places with confidence that now I have taken the 2 doses of vaccines and now I'm completely immune, nothing going to happen to me. Similarly, devotee who Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, and those who read the purport, those who listen to Guru Maharaj, and then so those devotees they can go and preach, and without a fear of any kind of fall down. So those immunity get developed when we read Bhagavatam. Therefore, different kinds of negative aspects are also discussed in Bhagavatam, and therefore we should not neglect them, saying that uh, what is there to discuss for the devotional life, because our bodies like that, and we need immunity for them. So this Chat Ripu, Mother Moha Matsarya, so those kind of ripus, they also get we get immunity for them also. Similarly, in the Ramayana also. So all this Vedic literatures, they are written, and everything is there in such a way that once we read very sincerely and listen to the devotees in a proper manner, then we get immune to those things. And everything is subdued at very subtle level. And then after reading this, you go out, and then even if you see suddenly, I mean, we should not make our conscious effort to see bad movies or bad things from the mobile or Instagram. But suddenly, if something comes up, then we are controlled. And and suppose that a devotee is reading Srimad Bhagavatam daily, he's listening to Guru Maharaj daily. But then also, if he happens to, I mean, uh, think that his mind is not controlled, and now also, uh, if those kinds of situations and those kinds of scenario comes, then it's a tendency for him to fall down. No, this is not the case. So if a devotee is very sincere and he's reading Bhagavatam daily, and then also uh, his senses are behaving in different way than what it should behave as a devotee, as a sense of the devotee, and control way. So what they should think about? They should think about that it is not that his desire for the present, it is it is just like a past sanskaras. Because of that is coming up. There's nothing wrong with him, and he should just stop thinking about this. You should stop thinking to control this because they don't have any power. They don't have any power. Just like sometimes a snake, a cobra snake, when he attacks and then he's beaten properly, then at last once he tries to again fight back, but at that time the cobra has no strength. Just like if you see in a boxing ring, two opponents are fighting and one is very strong and one is slightly weak, so for example, and then the strong one beats the weak one very badly, and then last time he tries to just wake up and fight. He tries to punch the boxer, but his punching has no strength. Similarly, a devotee who is chanting and who is reading Bhagavatam daily, they slowly, they will get immune to those kind of scenarios. But because they're not completely immune, if mind certain small appreciation comes to for those things, then they should understand that this is just like last the our senses are trying for last time to empower us, but it's not the case. They cannot empower us as long as we are following our relative principles. They will not empower us, and uh, and therefore, and from the beginning, from the start of beginning, we should what we should do is that we should follow the regulative principle very sincerely. We should follow it. We should appreciate the regulative principle. We should not say that these are too much. They are too much to follow. They are too. We should have appreciation. We should have appreciation that we are very fortunate that we have very clear instructions from a spiritual master. No intoxication. Such a clear instruction. So we should have appreciation for those. No meat eating, no meat eating, no illicit relationship, no gambling. We should have a strong appreciation for those rules and regulations set by the spiritual master for us. And we should appreciate that we are chanting daily. We are so fortunate that we got an opportunity to chant daily. We are so fortunate that we are able to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should appreciate, we should say it loud to ourselves that we are very fortunate that we are reading Bhagavatam. We are very fortunate that we are in the association of devotees. We are very fortunate that we are going to temple. We are very fortunate that we are able to meet. So for those, for spiritual practices, we should appreciate it, nor we should say it is bad or good. We should remain tatastha. So that needs practice. And then we should also try that we are not associating with those people uh, who who appreciate a lot. So I mean, we are not living in a isolated place. We are living in a place where all around us there are people who are appreciating those uh, material activity because they have different objective in their life. They have different understanding about the human life. They want to enjoy it, and we have different understanding. We want to make spiritual progress. We want to go uh, in a spiritual path. So even if you listen to them, that they are appreciating the material life, but we should not have appreciation for those things in our mind. So that's also. I mean, I hope I covered those points what I wanted to discuss on this topic. So I can stop here and we can have some reflections from all of you. You are all more experienced and we are all struggling together to fight with these our senses we experience. So you can also share what is how you are struggling, what is your best practices that others can follow and progress in our devotional life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Premavasya Prabhu, for very nice overview. I would request the devotees to share their comments or reflections or questions. Any questions from the devotees?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Prabhu, I couldn't hear the class properly. I don't know, my phone sound was not good. But I have this doubt regarding Ajamila Prabhu. Prabhu, he was trained in Brahminical qualities, but was he not a devotee having a higher taste, Prabhu?
Yeah. So yes, Mataji. Thank you for this question, Mataji. So from this story, what we understand, and so I have not read about Azamila from different scriptures, but from Bhagavatam, whatever we understand is like he was not he was trained in the devotional life, so he knew what to do. So that was the reason for his boldness, Mataji. So this is what I understand.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.
Yes.
One question, Prabhuji. This specific pastime of Ajamila, it happened in which yuga, Prabhu? It's not Kali Yuga, right, Prabhuji? I think.
No, it's not Kali, but I'm not able to recall that time, but I can't say who.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Any other questions or comments from the devotee?
I mean, is it clear that what we discussed that association is the appreciation? So, if you appreciate, then you associate. So this is the point I wanted to make today in this class. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think there are no other questions. Maybe we can end today's session, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, will everyone who name their children Narayana or Venkata like that, will they get the second chance, Prabhu?
Not second chance. I mean, we should be sure that we get multiple chances. But I mean, the point is that, say, Lord Krishna said, Bhagavad Gita, that they are given a chance. But the point is that will will they utilize those chances or not? So those who fall down, they are given a chance to take birth in the good family, in the devotees family, in the Vedic family. But will they make use of that or not? So that is the question, Mate. So that is the point. So Lord never said that they will get only one chance, but this life and next life, you keep doing it. We get many chances because Lord is merciful. There are two kind of exams. One exam is like a rejection quality. So nowadays, in the competitive examination, what happens that people they want to reject them. So that's the question. But in devotional life, it's like selection exams. So Lord, He just want one reason to select it. So it's not a rejection exam. So Lord is so merciful that He said that no, He just offered me a flower. Therefore, He's a very good devotee and He's suitable to be come to my planet. He just told once my name, so He is suitable to come to my planet. So don't worry, Lord is very merciful, and Lord is just looking for one excuse to deliver a devotee, to deliver a fallen soul. So from the material and the spiritual, there is complete difference, Mother. So even if you have chanted, even if you have listened to once in Bhagavatam story, so our life is secure. We are all insured. But we should try to perform now much better for to so developing love for the God is different and the liberation is different method. So one who chanted once Krishna's name, he is eligible for the liberation. But develop love, we are doing this all this sadhana.
Like I was thinking about this stubborn souls who refuse to come to Bhakti Yoga, Prabhu. So I thought maybe we can influence them to keep their grandchildren or children's name, like God's name, like that. So like in that way I was thinking, Prabhu.
This one they done. Even Lord is so merciful that even once someone says that today I am going to his Rajma Chawal. So Rajma, there is a Ra and Mo. What is there? Lord thinks that he's chanting my name. You see. So Lord is very merciful. Lord is looking for an excuse to deliver the fallen soul. And this Kali Yuga is very, very merciful. He just want one excuse. That he heard Lord's name. He saw Lord's name in the poster. So he's looking for the excuse. And we are here to just provide the excuse to Lord to defend fallen soul. Therefore, Lord Prabhupada said, just allow someone to test just chant loudly that someone can hear the Lord's name. So those things are there. I mean, we can discuss on those topics. But the point here is that Lord is just looking for an excuse to deliver the fallen soul. But to develop love is a whole different story. To develop love was a lot of effort.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. I felt this class, every youth in our country should listen to it. So much information and so much message is there, so that their lives will become more auspicious. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think we can end Prabhuji today's session with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpata rubhyasya kripa sindhobhyecha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, थे गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving your association, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class again. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam devotees will end the session today.